Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 146 people in 12 different countries. And the theme of today's healing and all the healings this month, December 2024, is power, confidence, and flow under pressure. So there's that. I do want to say something first, which I'm going to highlight. So anyone who knows my work well knows that flexible start time means Janet is always late. That's what that means. But that I am rejecting the concept of lateness to some extent because I want to do my best with my work and I'm not going to eliminate certain preparatory stages in order to be on time. And plus, even if I did eliminate certain preparatory things, which would not be a good idea, I'm not sure I actually could be on time. As my husband can attest. So, but anyway, so just a heads up on that. I do post a start time and I do actually try to aim for that, honestly. At this moment, it is now a half hour after my posted start time. So give you an example of how much after the flexible start time I might actually start. Obviously, I do try to keep it shorter than that, but I want to be honest so people know what to expect so they don't freak out at me. Okay, so enough about that. Okay, good enough. So I wanted to preview a little bit of today what we're doing and also discuss the theme overall, power, confidence, and flow under pressure that we'll be doing this whole month of December. So power, what is power? Because I think it's a word that, like a lot of my work, it's like I'm choosing to use the word in a certain way. Other people might not automatically think of it that way, so that's why I have to define it. So for me, power, as I'm using it this month, is it has to, what is like personal power, spiritual power? Obviously, I'm not thinking of like an oppressive power over others. I'm thinking of just being able to live your life and do your best living your life and, that kind of thing, to flourish, right? That's what I consider power. Power maybe like, flourish in an optimal way or be productive, be well. All that stuff comes under the heading of power. So it's not, that sense of like, oppressive overlord over others, screwing with everyone, kind of power, obviously. Hopefully, obviously. Okay, so, but what is power? How do you, like, what are the ingredients of power on a spirit level? The way the angels described it to me this morning was power is 50% not getting crushed by external forces, people, invasive beings, whatever. So 50% not getting crushed and 50% not holding yourself back. So 50% is external, having enough flow so that, and presence and, everything repaired enough so that, your boundaries are strong enough that, external forces don't crush you. in any lasting way. You know, you can get a little crushed and repair quickly. Right? So that's half of it, is not being crushed. But then the other half is looking for ways in which you are holding yourself back. Which, you know, like a classic example would be like if you have a subconscious fear of failure, I mean, it could be conscious too, but oftentimes this stuff is pretty subconscious, like, so you might not realize like how much of it is impacting you. So fear of failure, fear of success, fear of offending other people, you know, fear of change, just blanket fear of change, you know, can be a big subconscious thing. So that comes under the heading of holding yourself back. We're gonna work both those today. So the confidence and flow under pressure part of the healing, the part of the healing theme won't be as big of a focus today. I think confidence is really easy to work, honestly. I mean, 7th chakra in the top of your head, that generates confidence. The 7th chakra, both astral and physical, and 7th layers. Astral and physical, 7 layers, the 7th layer, the outermost layer of your astral body aura and your physical body aura. That has to do with confidence. So I think it's pretty easy to amp up confidence. So we will certainly be doing that this month, and also this set in particular of 3 healings. But flow under pressure is interesting too, and kind of intriguing. So there's some deeper stuff with that we'll certainly explore and work. It's sort of like situational flow, you know, like you can be really flowing on a day when, you know, you have off and you've already caught up on your sleep and you're just, you know, maybe that day you're just really flowing, you know. But when it's, you know, a more critical day for your work, you know, or social situations, you know, do you have flow then? You know, and that sort of speaks to the fact that there are a lot of winter socially involved holidays. Maybe in all cultures. I'm not an expert in all cultures though, but like say in the US, Christmas can be a big thing. Hanukkah, Muslim holidays still can be a big thing in the US, depending on your background. So it's just, the thing is, you may not celebrate the holiday, but people in your social circle may, or people in your genetic family may, even your extended genetic family. And so that's sort of the issue. Like for me personally, I don't celebrate really any holiday. I mean, New Year's, I kind of, you know, the whole January 1st New Year's, I sort of observe that, and I like to sort of surf that positive change vibe that even mainstream people tend to have in the US, at least around January. I think that is, you know, just like group fear, group anger can impact your energy, group optimism, you know, for once, group energy can kind of be a boost potentially, you know. So that's really the one holiday that I'm kind of like, you know, there's value in that for me. But the other holidays, I just, you know, I celebrate them. I do not celebrate them. I specifically like it. So it's like, you know, Thanksgiving in the US was on Thursday. And, you know, for me, that's just a Thursday, like very specifically just a Thursday on purpose, you know. But if you have genetic relatives that celebrate a certain holiday and they expect you to reach out to them and call them, and you don't do that, or approaching that holiday and they know you're not going to somehow meet their expectations for that holiday, like shower them with praise and love and kindness and gifts and whatever, even though they're totally cruel and abusive to you, you know, for example, you know, then you could get extra energy attacks, you know, approaching that holiday, even like a couple months in advance, and then during that holiday. So I'm always glad when holidays are done. I was like, whew, survived another one. But, you know, the better your boundaries are, the more it's not as big a deal if people are all stuck about what you're doing or not doing. So that's the point of power really. That's one of the points of power, is just the safety that you get from it. It's really great. It helps with quality of life in a big way. So even to the point where you can get physically sick if you don't have strong boundaries. I mean, you know, some physical sickness is not because of boundaries in any way. But, you know, if I had to generalize, maybe like at least maybe 40% of physical sickness is related to boundaries in some way. You know, like maybe a boundaries issue that just brewed over time until it affected your physical body, meridians and chakras, and then your physical body on like even a deeper level. And then, you know, finally your body's like, wah, and complains by getting sick. So anyway, I'm rambling. So as far as not getting crushed, we have worked a lot, you know, back here stuff, like the 5th essential, you know, there's the 5 essentials: grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, which is up here, and then good karma windows repair. That's the 5th essential, which I also add on to that, you know, base of skull points and unblocking back there. And then so good karma windows are back here in your astral body aura, but then in your physical body aura, I call that area your flow zone, which also includes your neck and around your neck. So we work sort of back boundaries through that fairly effectively, you know, that plus like aura repair and chakra repair. But the front boundaries, I think, have been sort of underworked chronically. So that's why in the healing set, the last healing in November, the 2 of 2 healing, which, you know, I always talk about like the twin sets. I tend to, I mean, I do my best for every healing, but if I'm working the same theme all month long, you know, all 5 healings, then the first and or the second twin set healing tend to be, in my opinion, even better than the triplet set healings, just because it's like, I've been studying people's surveys and I'm just looking, and it's like, you know, it just like even more comes together for those twin set healings. And I think that November one, again, sort of showed that, especially the final, the 2 of 2, the twin set second healing. We did unblock extended sinus masks. I'm going to discuss that now just a little bit. No. Okay, so I'm still discussing what we're going to do today, but just I wanted to point it out more by changing the title there. So extended sinus masks is what we got to in the 2 of 2 healing in November, the final twin set healing. And so it's not only unblocking, you know, in your sinuses, but also in front of your sinuses, those energy blocks generally that are pressed up close, you know, in the first and second layers, and they kind of take the shape a little bit of your face sometimes. So that's why I call them masks, because they kind of look like that because they're pressed up, and so they have this form of like your nose and the curve of your face. So extended sinus masks not only cover your sinuses, which you do have some sinuses in your forehead, like how cool is that? But extended sinus masks include your neck and your this area, like the very top of your torso. And I will be working, I'll just briefly show the images. So the sinuses, those are the sinuses, all those like brightly colored areas. And then the nasal cavity is like, you know, what's behind your nostrils, the bigger area. So all the nasal cavities drain into your sinuses, and they're all really important. And so we healed and unblocked those, but we also healed and unblocked all in front there. Because from a boundaries perspective, you want to have so much flow that it's just you the whole way. So your body can just rest and function and do its job. If you have too much stagnant energy, too many energy blocks, you know, even out here in front of it, then it acts as like a stepping stone or entry points, however you want to think of it, for invasive energy, invasive people, invasive beings, whatever. And so they can cord an energy block there, and that allows them to kind of leapfrog from that energy block into, you know, further in, you know, to your sinuses, you know. So then you might just experience it maybe as like negative self-talk, because sinuses relate also to telepathy, and fifth chakra, and, you know, your inner voice. So it could manifest as, or you could experience that. The symptoms could involve, you know, negative self-talk, but they can also, you know, more obviously involve, you know, blocked up sinuses, like on a physical level, you know, like mucus, you know, too much mucus or whatever, them not functioning in a healthy way, you know. And but also they can, it's like, so when you unblock there, so you have more flow and presence there, you could even potentially hear your angels better, which I did see somebody, like after the last healing, they had 2 days where they had extra anxiety, but then after that, they started actually using the healings, the techniques from the healing, and they not only unblocked it, but they got so much extra momentum, and so they were able to get movement in an area where they hadn't been making any progress for a while. And so it's like, because unblocking this area allowed them to hear their angels better. So then, because they heard their angels better, eventually, it wasn't instantaneous, but after a few days, they started realizing, like, oh, let me actually use the techniques in the healing that Jen has spent so much time making chapters about, because they can be useful, you know? And so, I mean, not that you have to do that, but, you know, it's like, sometimes it's just, you have a mental block about it, you know, or it's so like literally blocked here so much that all you hear is like your own exhaustion and your own, you know, how weary you are, or how, you know, like things that are sad to you or whatever, you know, and you don't really think of how to dig yourself out of the hole. So anyway, so unblocking here, long story short, can help you hear your angels better, which can help you kind of, you know, dig yourself out of a rut more easily than you would otherwise. So it's not like oh, that was so easy. It's just that it improves your rate of success. So so not only the sinuses, but then also the extended was the that it includes this neck area and upper chest area, but it can even go down further, like right in front of all the chakras, you know, all the main chakras along your spine. So the extended stuff was right there. You see the CV23. That's a point in the CV meridian that's especially helpful, but they're all really, all acupuncture points are super cool and super helpful. They're all chakras. They're so cool. Like at one point, I was working some point, I don't even remember which one it was, but it's like somewhere here or something on one of these meridians, and it fixed my ankle swelling. Like I had ankle edema for like ever, and the only time I ever didn't have it was when I was doing a ton of cardio every day. So then if I'm not doing a ton of cardio every day, I would have, you know, ankle swelling, like not horribly so, but, you know, enough that it was kind of obviously something uncool happening, you know. And so apparently some point on one of, I forget which one it is, but there's some point on one of these meridians, and as I was unblocking it, like I read that, oh yeah, that one, I read that it really needed to be unblocked. You know, that was just me reading and intuiting and working on it for a couple days. But then like my ankle swelling went like pretty much away. and then I read about, you know, the different points and what each one does. And sure enough, one of them helps with, you know, relieving edema of the lower body. I was like, damn. They're so cool. But anyway, so acupuncture points are cool, long story short. Cool and powerful. But you know, just keep that healthy and gentle approach. You're going to do what's healthy and gentle to do whenever you're doing energy healing, but especially on like body meridians, just because they're so interrelated and whatever. So anyway, the CV23, and then stomach meridian is the green one in the diagram. CV meridian is the one up the midline, right? And it helps to manage all the yin meridians of your body, so it's really important. Then stomach meridian has this really cool route. It goes like along the side of your face, which will probably work today more. But then, you know, as you see the green lines here, you know, it goes down your neck and then it takes this sharp angle, and as it goes, so the stomach 9 through 12 is 9, 10, 11, 12, you know, right? So those points can get so tight and so much pressure on them from, you know, external forces if you have blocks here, and it's really easy to have a lot of blocks here. So so anyway, that's part of extended sinus mass, is to unblock all that so you have better boundaries in the front. Because a lot of people, I didn't realize how much people need better boundaries in the front. Because I'm always thinking of like, okay, what are you avoiding in the back, and what are the problems that gives you, you know, to have so much blocks in the back. But a lot of people have blocks like right in front of their face, you know, but on a spirit level, you're not clearing them, and it just allows so much invasive energy to come in, which is really just overwhelming, you know, and creates health issues and mental issues and, you know, psychological issues, blah 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 blah, etc. So that's extended sinus masks that we'll be working on today for sure. But we did that before. We'll just do more of it. So I don't think it'll be like really groundbreaking the way we do it today, except that there's more emphasis on the extended part, that, you know, it could be here, anywhere in front here, but it can also be even all the way down, you know, all along the base of your spine. So like extended sinus mask could be like all the way down, you know, up and down this whole area. So anyway, but that has to do with the 50% of power that is not getting crushed, you know, right? So now, we will talk about, is still the talking part before the healing right now, but okay, so this is a new sort of term. I mean, I'm sure I'll forget it in a few months, but it makes sense now. I think it might be helpful to talk about it this way. So, you know, as far as power, and the 50% of power being not holding yourself back so much, right? One of the less obvious ways that people hold themselves back, because I already talked about the obvious ones, you know, momentarily earlier in this discussion of like, you know, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of offending others, blah, blah, blah. That can be reasons that you hold yourself back subconsciously. But avoid this labels, I think, are really interesting, and that will be cool to work today. So I think it will be a big part of today's healing. They can be in the front or the back of your aura. You would think that all the avoid this energy blocks that you've labeled like, okay, I'm avoiding this, are in the back of your space, but I was reading different sample people, and no, they could be right in front too. You're still avoiding them. So avoid this labels. What is that? You know, I mean, it's sort of like a way of denial or avoidance, you know, but it's like a real thing. Like you'll have a big old energy block somewhere, either, you know, in your astral body aura or your physical body aura, like say here in her astral body aura, like say 4th layer right in front. It's super big, but she has put on it for herself a label. It's like, so you can imagine like a sort of like a big shipping label or something, and it says avoid this. And so it's a note to herself like that. I know this is here, but we are definitely avoiding this. And the thing with those labels that people do is it's like there's no expiration date for that. So you can be avoiding plenty of blocks that are from past lives, and the avoid this sticker went on in a past life, and you're still avoiding it because the sticker's there and it's your sticker. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm avoiding that, and so it's subconscious, but you like sort of, do anything but that, So the reason I noticed this was because I was looking at this person. I was reading her survey, and she was talking about that she had this shoulder issue, and she often has shoulder issues. But they're like shoulders plus other parts of her body. And so she just kind of notes them and does some clearing of it. But it's pretty chronic, that she'll have these shoulder things that also involve other parts of her body. And I was looking at it, it looks like, sort of an invasive being just kind of wired through to all the parts of the body that she was talking about, that were sort of feeling weird. And but how? Invasive beings are not the problem. They always seem like the problem. Invasive people and invasive people and invasive beings always seem like the problem. For gosh sakes. But the problem is really the energy blocks and or damage to chakras and auras that is allowing the invasive forces to be invasive. Because if you had great flow and everything was repaired, it would be pretty unlikely that those invasive forces could screw with you. It's the weakening of your auras, the weakening of your chakras through damage, through, well, that's sort of a circular thing, but through energy blocks that allow the punishment to draws it in to make it actually much more effective, more destructive. Right? So someone throws energy at you. If you have great flow, it might not do anything, or it might just, give you a little compression somewhere. But, if you have a lot of blocks, especially where they aimed the whack, it draws it in, kind of like if you're playing pool and one ball hits the other ball that hits the other balls. It's like that. The stuck energy grabs onto that force and brings it in further. So if you have a lot of stuck energy, then that force of that whack can come in really deep until the point where you get major chakra damage, of course, aura damage, and whatever. So we're always trying to unblock, but it's just so interesting that you can have some blocks that are like big and significant, even in the front of your aura or the back, a lot of times they're in the back too. But you don't clear them. You do damage control, but you don't actually find the most significant blocks that cause the boundary issues in the first place. Because you're thinking, well, my mom who keeps whacking me, she's the problem. Or my work coworker is the problem because they keep whacking me, or my ex-husband or whatever keeps whacking me, right? And yeah, that does complicate the situation, of course. So if you could get them to calm down a little bit, that would be, helpful. But there's always going to be another person whacking at some point, and so the real issue, the real boundaries problem is the stuck energy, right? So anyway, so you can hunt for these avoid this energy blocks. And those tend to be the ones, since you've been avoiding them for a while, they tend to be really significant, and so it's a great way to make a big improvement in your boundaries. So it's kind of exciting. I'm kind of jazzed. So we do that today. And you can always, you can set your intention so you find for healthy and gentle. So you still want to find the biggest avoid this blocks that are healthy and gentle, so you're like, okay, well, I only want to know about the healthy and gentle ones, but let me get rid of the biggest healthy and gentle ones to get rid of, and so it's fun. It's kind of like if anyone has done or remembers doing the facade work, there's a video I have, Clear Facades. If you search Janet Wright, Clear Facades, facade spelled F-A-C-A-D-E. If you were to search Janet Wright, Clear Facades, that video, it's a little bit like this level of fun where it's like something that's totally big that you weren't aware of consciously, and you clear it, and it really does help, like, whoa, you know, it can really help your flow and how you function. So anyway, but the avoid this label, the avoid this blocks, we can call them, you know, the ones you've labeled for yourself. And so you're potentially avoiding them for many lifetimes. Those are, I think it sort of takes it to the next level, because they could be all sorts of types of blocks. They're not just like a facade is what you want other people to see about you, you know, whereas the avoid this label blocks can be, you know, all sorts of things, you know, fears, self-esteem stuff, whatever, you know, identity stuff, whatever. So should be cool. I'm excited. So long story short, we'll be working the power part of the theme the most today. But it will help confidence and flow under pressure. It will definitely help flow under pressure, I would think. Confidence, I don't know how much of it we'll do today just because it's so easy. I might put it off, but we'll see what the angels want. So hope that makes sense. Okay, just a note about, I did make a short video. I'm gonna try to make more excerpt videos. I can't promise that I will be consistent with it, but it would be nice if I am. Let's put it that way. But it just takes a lot of time and whatever, but blah blah blah. But I made this 6-minute excerpt video. And it was just a wrap-up section, you know, like one of the more popular combinations that we do at the end of the healing, like clear STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks, empty unprocessed stress pots. I think there was some melt cords to backlash people and something else that was kind of cool was in it too. I forget. But anyway, it ends up being a 6-minute video, and it's cute, you know, and short. And so I released that. If you don't like have YouTube notify you when my new videos come out, you wouldn't have noticed it, especially because I released it like late at night one night. I'm not very smart about when I release them, I guess. But anyway, so if you like short videos, you know, if this stuff is kind of daunting, you know, a 3-hour live stream, even though there are little chapters within a day, so you could find your little 6-minute sections fairly easily. But I get it. It's psychologically, you know, a 6-minute video is more friendly when you're 99% resistant, but you really, really, really need to heal yourself. So that's part of why I'm trying to make them now. But anyway, so that exists, that video. And I do have a playlist. I'm gonna try to link it right now in the chat because I'm cool like that. Let's see if I can get to it quickly. We'll see. But there's a playlist of just the short videos that are more recent. Because ages ago, I made short videos, but I haven't really been that consistent with short videos. So, let's see, where is that one? There we go, finally. So I'm gonna just keep posting short videos to this playlist. And I'll rename it to be shorter videos of 2024 and 2025. Anyway, I think I'm gonna be releasing a video, one of those excerpt videos, today, if not today, tomorrow, I think. And it will be the extended sinus mask section of the 2 of 2 healing from November, the twin set final healing. Just because that extended sinus mask thing is pretty cool. But I gotta trim it just a little bit more. I'm trying to make it as short as possible because I know that, you know, when you're really resistant, but you need to heal yourself, like even 10 minutes seems like 10 minutes, that's forever. So we'll see. Takes a lot of time to trim though, because it's like you have to listen over and over and be like, did I say that already? I'm not sure. But anyway, whatever. So, but it should come out today or tomorrow. That little extra short video about clearing sinus masks. What else I want to say? Quick sales note, hopefully quick. January sets. There are still some January sets for sale on my website, jwhealing.com. I guess if it's a sales note, I should put my website address, right? So, okay, so that's my website address, jwhealing.com, without all the periods there before it. But anyway, so January sets are still for sale right now, and it's a really good, like, yin yang kind of balancing topic. I forget what it is, but it's like, I forget, but it's really cool. It's like self-nurturing and but also an intuition, but also like being bold and something else. Some other yang kind of a thing. So anyway, it'll be good. And that's for sale now if you want. And if you're new and I've never worked with you before, I would be excited to work with you. Just you know, put your name when you purchase in the note field, like your first and last name, and if you could just email me a little hello about, you know, who you are after you purchase. That would be fun. No? Okay. That's that. Oh. Another quick note, the December twin set this month will be a week later than usual because that means it would be then on the 22nd and the 24th of December, which I thought that would be kind of cool because it's better spaced out between the December triplet and the January triplet. Because if you have a big gap, people that aren't healing themselves enough tend to like, you know, run into a wall. So I'm not trying to enable you to not heal yourself. However, you know, just being real. And there are people that are, you know, telepathic consent people that definitely don't meditate. So I'm trying to be nice. and plus putting it, you know, at the 22nd and the 24th makes it right before, you know, if people celebrate Christmas holidays, or if they don't celebrate, but they didn't get off from work because other people celebrate Christmas holidays or whatever, it just, it, you know, moves it nearer to that holiday set. Because holidays can be rough, psychically speaking, sometimes for people. Maybe more than sometimes. As far as, you know, what I talked about earlier about people's expectations and social pressures. So anyway, so December twin set is on the 22nd and the 24th, which is unusual because usually it starts on the third Sunday of the month, but the third Sunday comes so early this month, and because of the holidays and New Year and everything, I just thought if I move it, it might be more beneficial for everyone. So just so you know, so you're not surprised. Okay, so I'm going to try to be quick, but look at chat comments now, and then we'll do 3 minutes of quiet after that, and then we'll start the healing finally. And when I do the healing, I will talk out loud as I do it. So you could use it as an all levels healing walkthrough, even if you're a newbie. You could just wing it and be bold and do it on yourself as you listen, if you want. Okay. So greetings from Italy. Hello to you. Yes, waiting for me. Yes. Greetings from the US. Thank you. Hey Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago, 31 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny, so just below freezing. We're probably just above freezing. I know we're above freezing. I was very excited about that because we've been below freezing a lot more than usual, which I'm not a fan of. But anyway, as you can see, I bundle up. So I'm okay. Someone says, hi, Jenny, can see and hear you. Hello. Someone says, hello from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Snow, ice, winds, 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Yipes. Wind makes it so much worse. Must wear ice cleats. Wow. Already fell. Time to smarten up. Yeah. Falling is no joke. Yeah, if you need to wear cleats, please do. Stay safe. Also, you could ground your inner ear area more, you know, maybe that'll help a little bit, you know, like do that ear healing. Like you could freeze frame on this, you know, and just ground all that and unblock it all a little bit extra, because, you know, the semicircular canals and the cochlea help with balance. But obviously, you know, ice is still ice. Yeah, so ear healing alone might not be safe enough. So, but I'd mention that part too. I feel my way through time. Fits better into my lifestyle. Oh, the flexible start time. I try to be on the clock time, then chaos comes. People who know me treat the time thing with a little love and understanding. Isn't that nice? Because some people get really triggered when other people are late, so then that becomes a little delicate, you know. Everyone's got their little triggers. Someone says, ooh, I like this angel explanation of power. So cool. Yeah. So the way they explained it to me, and again, you know, I'm sure there's countless really cool ways to work it, but this is the way I'm working it this month, is that, you know, personal power is 50% not getting crushed and 50% not holding yourself back. That's the nutshell. Oh, I should totally clip that out and make a short. Oh, funny. We'll see if I do it, but maybe I will. Be funny. All right. So what else? Oh, we'll do more chat comments, of course. This is hello from sunny Las Vegas. 66 Fahrenheit. I'm jealous, but jealous in a boundary sensitive way, you know, because sometimes when people say they're jealous, they totally jump into your space. So I'm always like sort of cautious by saying I'm jealous, because, you know, most people, when they're jealous, they're like trying to live in your brain. I'm definitely not trying to do that. I'm trying to be very centered and understand that layering up, keeping me warm. I am safe and I am warm. Can see and hear you. Thank you. Someone says, oh, they are also in Las Vegas. Hello too. Yes. Multiple Las Vegas people listening. Someone says, hey, Janet, I already anticipate the goodness of the upcoming holidays. So I'm very excited to work this theme, which I guess you're being sarcastic there. By the way, cool mittens. I love the colors. Thank you. Yes, they are. There's an artist in the US who makes them. They're hard to get because she's very popular, but they're good. Her name is Catwise, Katwise, Catwise. And people try to copy her work a lot. So if you want to buy her work, just make sure it's really her, because people will put like in their the description, you know, Catwise, but they mean Catwise style, and they're not actually Catwise. So make sure you're actually dealing with Catwise, the lady, if you want to get them directly from her. But then it's sort of a timing thing. You have to buy them like right when they go up, because it's kind of like sometimes how my sets were. My sets, I added more numbers to them, so they're not like that now. You have like, even with the triplet set, you usually have like a few hours to get your act together and purchase. But there have been many times when it was like not like that, and you had to purchase within minutes. And that's the case with her fingerless gloves. But anyway, if you follow her on Facebook, then maybe at some point you just happen to be on when she posts that they're about the sales starting, and then you snag a pair. If anyone wants, I'll link her Facebook page in the comment section, but you just, ask me later because I don't want to look it up now. But you can post under any of the videos. Can you link the Catwise Facebook page? And I will. I love the facade work. Excited for this new avoid this work. Yeah. Yeah, the facade work is cool. Clearing facades. Thank you for that rad clearing video. It was a great reminder. Oh, good. Good. A little short 6-minute one. It took me hours to make it. Just so ridiculous, that it takes hours to make a 6-minute freaking video. But like I had to search for like the wave sounds and like listen to a whole bunch of different things to figure out like, yeah, no, that's what I want. And then the images, I had to look for the image, the intro and outro, the like water image. I had to look for that. And I was thinking, is that the vibe I want? Is that the vibe I want? It's just so funny how this stuff takes so long. But anyway, whatever. Enough complaining. All right. Hello. It's raining. Oh, really? It's raining where you are. Well, I guess that could be good, could be bad, depending. Hello, just tuning in. 29 degrees in Michigan, so below freezing. Well, I hope you're staying warm. All right. So I will do a quick notes for newbies section here. If you're not a newbie, just work your grounding or some, unblock your chakras ahead of time or something, or just get some healthy beverage while I talk. It'll just be a minute or two. But anyway, for newbies, if you don't know what the heck I'm doing, I am healing the people that purchased this healing in advance on my website. They purchased it as a set of healings, 3 healings. This is the first in the set of 3 healings. And you can do this too. You can heal yourself in the way that I am healing these people that purchased the healing. Just heal yourself. That's safe to just, heal yourself one at a time idea. So you could follow along and, use it as a walkthrough, even if some terms might go over your head or something. There'll be enough that you could figure out. And if you're advanced, then, there'll be a lot of interesting stuff as well. Everyone has hand chakras. So it's not like I have them and you don't. You have them too, right? So there's a big energy center in the palm of your hand and also one in each fingertip. So fingertip chakras, hand chakras. And so between all those, that can generate a lot of gold light. So then that would be what you're using to heal yourself. And so I mean gold, like metallic gold, not like yellow. I mean actual metallic gold, like, that's why I show this glitter all the time, just to remind people. Excuse me. And you can make a copy out in front of you of yourself, of your auras, your chakras, your groundings. If you don't know what all that looks like, I do have like a set of 3 videos called 7 chakras aura layers flow. And you can ask me to link that below if you need it. 7 chakras aura layers flow. I mean, there's a playlists tab on my channel, but I've made so many playlists, it tends to be kind of hard to find a certain playlist. So if you ever want a playlist on something and you can't find it, just ask in the comment section and I'll link it. Anyway, so that's the idea. You make a copy out in front of you of yourself and use gold light from your hands to heal and repair and unblock. That's the whole concept. As you're healing the copy, you're healing yourself. And the copy doesn't have to be super detailed. If you can't see anything, at first, most people can't see anything for quite a while. All they see is black. So they're like, what is she talking about? It looks like this. It looks like that. But you just kind of use your intention, use your thought. That still works, even if all you see is black. But if you are using a copy, you created a copy with your intention, with thought, and use your hands to comb through it and send gold light, over time, your abilities wake up faster, I think. It's kind of like the more you use it, the more it kind of clicks and makes sense, and you begin to feel energy with your hands, so you can feel if something's blocked or if it's flowing. And plus your hands supply a lot of gold light, potentially, if you set those energy centers to gold. Chakras generate energy. They always, they can. It's a, you know, one of the main things that chakras are for is to generate energy. So if you set a certain chakra to a certain color, then that's the color of energy that it will be generating. So that's the basics of what's going on here. But plenty of people watch that did not purchase the healing for one reason or another. And you can just heal yourself as you watch, even if I'm not one of the people that, even if you're not one of the people that I'm healing, that's fine too. And I do 5 of these live streams every month, a set of 3 and then a set of 2. And that's all on my website, jwhealing.com, the schedule and themes, which, speaking of which, February, that's go on sale this month in 9 days on the 15th. So that means I need to figure out themes for beyond February too. I put those on my website. Fun fact. So that's it. That's all my notes for newbies. And I do love newbies, but I also love my intermediate and advanced people as well. There's a huge range of people that use my work, you know, techniques, give the healings, whatever. And you can purchase a subscription and get all the healings every month if you want, through automatic payments, so you don't have to worry about them selling out or anything. And that's all on my website, jwhealing.com. Okay, enough of that. So I do love you, newbies. Be bold. Give it a try. Okay. So this is the section right before I start the healing, where I'll just finish my prep in silence and say hello to the 146 people telepathically, which is non-verbally without talking out loud. Towards the end of that, you'll see me go like that. That's how you know I'm started the healing. And then after a minute of quiet or so, I talk out loud as I heal for the whole rest of the time. Okay, hello. So thank you for waiting. You can redo your grounding, both of them. One for physical body energy system, one for astral body energy system. Make them nice and wide as all your auras, and keep them wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Make them both the same color, either red or orange or yellow, whatever helps you to release the most at this time. You could test each one. Red groundings, how does that release for you? Orange groundings, yellow groundings. And then make a copy out in front of you of both those groundings. And just search for the lumps, the chunks, the blocks. And just use so much gold light that they melt away. Sometimes they won't melt away because there's so many cords going into them. So that's always a part of what you want to do, is to melt the cords going into the blocks, and then the blocks can kind of melt automatically sometimes. It's like, yeah, it's just it's not like the cords are so magical and mystical. It's just they hold things in place. They tend to, kind of like a tack, you know, holding a piece of paper up on a wall. It's not like that tack is so amazing. It's just, you know, I guess how it works, and you just take the tack off and the paper falls, right? So same with energy blocks. If you melt all the cords away, a lot of times the energy block just clears. It just, you know, pixelates and disappears. So there's that. We can do gold nets too. I'm just going to put C gold nets for collapsing gold nets. So just imagine your whole energy system, including both your groundings, and just make a giant cube of gold netting that's going to collapse in and catch up anything that's not you that you're ready to release. So invasive beings, invasive people, just tangle them up in the gold nets, drag all that out, and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And yes, you do have angels, even if you didn't think about it before. So when you say angels, they hear you, and good enough. So anyway, big collapsing gold nets. Do it again. Collapse it in. Drag out anything that's not you. Angels, here you go. And somebody mentioned that we could do, with grounding, we could do Uncord backlash people. Which, yes, that's true. So, so imagine yourself, and then imagine all the people that are your backlash people, which are people that, you know, can get triggered and throw energy at you if you're just growing or changing or living your life. So, just imagine them, and I like to imagine them in a big row to keep it orderly. And then just melt any cords between you and your backlash people. So you're not sending gold light to them. You're just using gold light like just outside your space and inside your space so that the cords melt away. And you want to definitely melt away the energy blocks that the cords anchor into that are within your space, so that it's not so easy for these backlash people to cord you again. And it could be that you corded them too, subconsciously. So we don't need to demonize them. So again, imagine yourself, imagine your backlash people, check for cords, even teeny weeny ones that you never noticed but are there. Just melt them away and melt away the blocks. A couple deep breaths. Breathe into all your, I call them tree trunk areas for a while, tree trunk blocks, like shoulders, hips, hip joints, knee joints, ankles. Like, because you can have invasive energy coming in from above, and it can kind of look like a tree trunk, like there's so I already started explaining, but anyway, you can so it can look like a tree trunk, like this is a trunk, and then the root flare, you know, where the roots kind of at the base, they move, they look like they're spreading out. So invasive energy coming in can look like that if it comes in from above. So it can anchor into blocks that you have in these tree trunk areas, the major joints, you know, like shoulder joints, hip joints, knee joints, ankle joints. So you can just think about those blocks in those areas and melt them away. You can unblock above too, above your head. Because again, the real problem is not the invasive people and the invasive beings, it's the blocks that are weakening your boundaries enough that those people can have such access. Beings. So unblock your tree trunk areas. Your shoulder joints, your hip joints, your knee joints, and your ankle joints. Over your head. Alrighty. So that was a little bride pack grounding section, huh? Okay, so you have 17 auras. You can make a copy of them out in front of you, comb through them, and you use gold light for your hands to repair the rips. You can do it like localized, like use your intuition or your vision and find, like, say maybe you have giant rips up here or giant rips in front of your face or in front of your chest or your front of your hips or behind your back, whatever. You can do local energy or repair like that. Just, you know, clean it out enough so that it starts to repair back, to grow back and repair fully. But we're going to do composite copy technique just because it's like you repair all of them at once and it's more time efficient sometimes, usually. And it's also more newbie friendly in case you can't see what you're doing. So with composite copy technique, you create with your intention or vision an image of a rip and you say, okay, this rip represents every rip in all my auras that I need to repair right now. And then just clean it out with lots of gold light. You scrub it out with gold soap and water if you want. Or you can use sticky gold wax and just fill it up with that sticky, it was just gold light generated by your hands that sticks to everything that's not you and forms a lump, and that's sticky gold wax. And then you just lift out the big lump of junk and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax. Got the junk, angels, here you go. And then get the gold light as deep as you can into the rip so that let's screw back. La 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 la. Okay, so then that probably repaired most of the rips in your aura, but you may have some stubborn ones that are still around. So we'll just do the process one more time just for the leftover rips and repairing those. So make a new composite copy of a rip and have it represent any leftover rips that you still have, and then you just do the same process again. Sticky gold wax, fill it up, clean it out. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Angels, here you go. And maybe these rips are still around because you left in some hard objects, because that's another thing that could be stuck in there. It's not just invasive people and invasive beings. It can be, you know, a hard object that was thrown at you that initially created the rip could still be stuck in there. So with your sticky gold wax and your intention, make sure the wax sticks to the hard objects and lift all that out. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax, lift out the hard objects stuck in there. Angels, here you go. Also invasive beings, not that they're super powerful, they're just in the way of the gold light. So they kind of hold up the repair process. So you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair process. Can you please recycle them? And just take a few deep breaths while your angels do that for you. Again, that request was, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair process? So then it should be much cleaner. So you can use gold light, get it as deep as you can into the rips so that the gashes fill up with gold light and start to repair. And don't give up right before the end, because you want the outer surface to be nice and bouncy, as opposed to like hard and crusty. So make sure at the end you keep going so that the outer surface of your auras is very bouncy and flowy. Flow is strength in your auras. Stuck energy is weakness in your auras. Okay, great. So then you can redo your gold buffer zones, which you can do just in a second or two. And I do have a video that you could watch. You search Janet Wright gold buffer zones. You'll find it. It's 18 minutes. And they help you to slow the rate of aura damage. If someone's throwing energy at you, it has to get through the buffers first. Alrighty. Alrighty. Great job. Woohoo! Okay, so creative rings. What the heck are they? They're up here. 1, 2, 3. They come and go with you as a spirit. They're 3 gold rings. We did some work that already benefited them. In the grounding section, we did tree trunk blocks, clearing tree trunk blocks, including clearing up here, unblocking up here. So that definitely helps the creative rings. Anyway, you make a copy of your 3 gold creative rings out in front of you. They're a part of your astral body energy system. So they come and go with you as a spirit when you wake up and you go to sleep. Anyway, so you could bring up like purple earth energy just to ground your creative rings. That would be too fast moving of vibration for a lot of your chakras, especially the lower chakras, but it would be fine for your creative rings. So since you're healing just them right now, you could bring up a special grounding all the way from the core of the earth of purple earth energy and soak your creative rings in purple earth energy if you want. Because why not? And you can just keep melting cords going into your creative rings. Creative rings are probably one of, I guess if I had to pick, okay, what's, cords from other people and invasive beings, they're always not good, and they can always be overwhelming or whatever, get you stuck. But cords going into your creative rings are probably the most overwhelming. So it's great to use gold light and melt those cords. And as you melt them, then the flaps relax and fall shut. What do those flaps look like if they're not relaxed? They stick out like this. So that would be flaps that are sticking out because you have cords going in, sending in energy from other people or invasive beings, and that extra energy just inflames the rings and puffs them out. And that makes it easier for other people and invasive beings to cord after that. So it kind of snowballs in a not cool way. So your chakras have flaps too, but since your creative rings are in such a key spot, I think like it's probably you know, if you're going to uncord from one place and nowhere else, which is silly, of course, but then creative rings, melting creative ring cords would be probably the most beneficial. So just keep melting those cords so that the flaps fall shut, so it's a nice smooth gold ring. So then your energy can flow through the creative rings, and they can do their job and generate gold light and send the gold light downward to your major chakras, but it'd be harder for people to cord those creative rings if the flaps are shut. Harder, but not impossible. So it's worth it to check now and then. Okie dokie. And as you use the gold light, just melt any crusty energy around your creative rings, either in the middle or around the sides or wherever in between them. So that I would call unblocking your creative rings. And you can unblock your auras above your creative rings too. Hunt for any big chunks, melt them away, gold light. All right, good job. Woohoo! That was creative ring repair and a little bit of unblocking. All right, we'll do chakra repair and unblocking. So chakra repair and unblocking, we'll use composite copy technique. You can do one at a time, of course, but we'll do them all at once. So this is the basic shape of a chakra, an open cylinder. And so your energy flows in one end, out the other, typically. Although with seventh chakra, you can be bringing in new energy or sending in energy out to your seventh layer. So it's sort of both directions. But in a lot of chakras, it's not so bidirectional like that. It's more just in one end, out the other. But this is the basic shape. So you make a composite copy and have it represent all your chakras, major and minor ones. So minor ones would be the acupuncture points all in your physical body, but also other cool energy centers that you have that just aren't the major 7 along the spine. So all chakras have a composite copy, and you can have it be, you know, roughly this shape. And you're going to repair and unblock and melt cords. So that you're repairing and unblocking all your chakras of your body and spirit. And you can lift the blocks out and just kind of blow them up or melt them away. Lift the blocks out. You could hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. These blocks can get in the way of repair, and blocks are just in the way, period. So, and of course, melting cords, you know, the flaps, there are flaps around the outer surface, you know, that look a little bit like that if they're irritated, right? And so you don't want that. You want a nice smooth outer surface with no irritated flaps. So just keep melting cords. They would be pairs of cords. It could be from invasive beings or invasive people. Just melt them all so that the flaps can relax and fall shut. Then your energy goes in and out, but it's harder for people to cord you. So just keep relaxing the flaps, melting cords. Invasive beings, though, just melting cords isn't really enough because they have nothing better to do than be persistent. So you can just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with any of my chakras, can you please recycle them? The energy blocks could be wrapped around the chakra. It could be like just a hard band of energy too, or it could be just gumming up the round openings, or it could be jammed inside there. So you just kind of imagine all the different blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. That's your intention, so that you don't do too much. You can do a lot though within that healthy and gentle range. And it's a personal healthy and gentle range. So it's what is healthy and gentle for you at this time. And again, lift out the energy blocks. Melt them away, lift them out, blow them up if you want. Them out, melt them away. You can melt it in place, but some of them, you know, if you change it up, you know, you might get different ones that you missed. And the surface of each round opening is supposed to be like bouncy, like the surface of water, like ripply and bouncy, but it could be all hard and crusty, or could have gashes in it and hard objects stuck in it, you know, like that. So, you want to get the hard objects out, angels, here you go, and you want to, you know, heal up the gashes, melt away any hard crustiness, so that the round openings are nice and flowy and bouncy. Just your energy. All right, good job. Good job, good job. You could do a spot check at this point, you know, and check. You could just double check your 7 physical and your 7 astral body chakras, so your major chakras. And just double check, like, okay, how's the 7th chakras? How's the 6th chakras? How's the 5th chakras? 4th chakras, center of chest. 3rd chakras. 2nd chakras. And 1st chakras. Fine. And then the physical body Kundalini chakra is right below the physical body 1st chakra. You can just double check that one and give it a little extra repair and unblocking. Especially if you have trouble going to sleep or going back to sleep. Unblocking and repairing and melting cords from your Kundalini chakra and help with that. Because you want that's a chakra you want actually to be able to turn off for sleep. But then turn on during the day so you have a little bit of pep. And you can check the filaments in between astral and physical body chakras. Each one has a filament, so 7th chakra filament, 6th chakra filament on down. And you want to double check, like maybe some of them need repair. Maybe they're leaking. And if they're leaking, they may have hard objects stuck in them. They may have cords from invasive people or invasive beings. So you can just kind of notice, like, okay, are there any leaks? If so, repair. Is there any hard objects? You can kind of pop them out and have them melt or explode. You don't want any foreign energy like getting into the filaments, because then they'll go to the chakras, right? So you just want just pure like 7th chakra energy of yours going back and forth in your 7th chakra filament. You don't want anyone cording there and just sending weird energy through that filament. And the filament ideally would be, you know, just your energy. So if both your 7th chakras you've set to purple, then that would be just your purple energy going back and forth. If it's not, then maybe there's some invasive beings you need to get recycled. You know, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with any of these filaments? All right, good enough. you always have to take into account, you know, how much time do you have to do this stuff? And at some point, you know, you've either done the healthy and gentle amount or you just don't have time to do more. And so you should congratulate yourself for doing what you did. Yay, good for you. Alrighty, so back here, good karma windows. I talked about the, you know, the power thing, 50% of power being not getting crushed by external forces, you know, invasive beings or invasive people. And so there's getting crushed from behind or getting crushed from in front. You can get crushed in other ways, maybe up top, but commonly you could kind of focus on front or back, you know, and it's the invasive energy getting in more from behind, in which case you have too many blocks and damage back here, or is the invasive energy coming at you head on from in front, in which case you have some kind of damage and or too many blocks in front, right? So good karma windows and all that addresses the back boundaries, right? So there's 7 layers of your astral body aura. Each one has these triple frame windows just in this little area directly behind the base of your skull and your throat chakra there. And the triple frame windows, they look like this, but they're in the color of each of your aura layers, so they're not all red. Excuse me, sorry about that. So just run gold light through them, unblock them, repair them, melt any hard objects stuck in them. So again, it's this area back here in your astral body aura. You want good flow there so that you can be there and not other stuff. Because it is an entry point in your space, but you want it to be an entry point for you only. and good karma energy from the universe, but not for like invasive people and invasive beings. So if it's all repaired and unblocked, then it's just an entry point for like, say, your positive change energy, good karma energy from the universe, maybe like a little gentle uplifting amount of energy for the moon and the stars. You can lift out the hardness and just melt it or blow it up. Lift up the hardness, melt it or blow it up. Lift out the hardness, melt it or blow it up. Say angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this area, you please recycle them. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. You can just drag out any invasive stuff. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Base of skull points and back of head meridians. We can do all that kind of quickly. So base of skull points, usually I'm just talking about the 2 rows, horizontal rows of points, one at the level of the top of the ear and one at the level of the bottom of the ear. But also while you're there, you could repair the meridians that you can see in the diagram, you know, in the neck and the head there. So all those chakras, I mean, they're going to fit in the meridian. These minor chakras, their job is not to send energy out to like aura layers. Their job is to just keep the flow going within that meridian. I mean, you could split hairs and say they have other purposes too, of course. But for the purposes of like repair and flow and unblocking and how they're positioned, they're just positioned within the meridian. So they fit in and they just, the energy flows through them to continue on in the meridian. So you want to just be aware of the flow within that meridian. And does it feel like compressed and tight, or does it feel like a spacious flowing river? And the color of the energy, obviously in the diagram, they have to make each meridian a different color so you can tell them apart for educational purposes. But the energy color ideally would be all red for these body meridians. And definitely not black or white or silver. So just as you can use gold to heal them and unblock them and repair them, but then the flow of your life force through the meridians ideally would be red. So let them expand and unblock enough so that there's no restriction to the energy flow within that meridian, at least where you're healing. And again, you want to do it to the point that's healthy and gentle to do right now. And then behind the base of skull points in your, and behind your neck in your auras. You can kind of comb through the points and then outward behind you. So like comb through like that way. And just catch up all the hardness, which is energy blocks, and melt them away. Comb through, catch up the hardness, melt it away. So this hardness, I mean, these acupuncture points, these are in your physical body. But we're combing through both physical body and astral body auras and checking and melting hardness away. Because the astral body, because that's the part of you that comes into your physical body, has a huge effect on your physical body and its flow. So you want to hunt through both of those auras for blocks behind your skull. And if you find that they're not melting, just focus on melting the cords going into them first and any invasive beings. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings plugged into these blocks, can you please recycle them? And then they just sort of, collapse on their own and dissolve on their own once there's nobody cording into them. So melt the cords. Angels, can you recycle the beings? The flow zone is that same area behind there, but in your physical body aura, and also including in and around your neck, physical neck. So maybe that will remind you of the area a little bit. So behind the neck and base of skull in the physical body aura, and also the neck, in and around the neck, including the spine. So just use gold light and unblock it. You want energy to flow, your energy to flow freely, and your body's energy to flow freely up and down your spine, your brain, all the way down, toes. And if something's not melting, like you can have a big block in your flow zone behind your neck and the base of your skull. If it's not melting, just melt the cords going to it first. Melt the cords from people, and then say, angels, if there are any invasive beings plugged into this, can you please recycle them? And then it tends to melt much more easily. Yeah, in flow zone, find the blocks, melt the cords. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings? Blow them up, blow up the blocks or melt them. And it still feels weird, and you're like, okay, Janet, I unblocked everything. What the heck? Just double check the meridians and the energy centers there. And of course, your big old fifth chakra in the back and your sixth chakra in the back, because you could have like cracks in the back of your major chakras too that contribute to the weirdness. So extra repair for the back of your six chakras, physical and astral. Extra repair and unblocking for the back of your fifth chakras, back of your throat, physical and astral fifth chakras. Keep on blocking, melting cords, repairing. Check the meridians in that area. Repair them, block them. All right, good enough. So extended sinus masks, we're going to clear those. I already talked about it a lot in the intro. There's a whole section just explaining them. So just jump right in. So I'm going to take off my glasses to do that. So in front all the way down from your sinuses, which include, they're also in your forehead, they're your sinuses. Yeah. But anywhere in even your astral body aura in front. All the way, like 7th layer astral body aura, 6th layer astral body aura, physical body aura, all the way out there too. So that whole area, just comb inside your sinuses, inside your neck and throat, and just any stagnant energy that's healthy and gentle, get rid of. Angels, here you go. You can melt it, you can blow it up, you can hand it to the angels. And just be aware of the tendency, because I'm talking about sinuses, which is a physical body thing. So you may have a tendency to ignore the astral body aura, with all this, but you can have really significant, impactful blocks in the astral body aura in that area, in all these areas as well. So try to clear them out, both of them. Melt away extended sinus masks. And if they're not clearing, just melt cords, and also, say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings plugged into this stuff? Again, comb through this whole area, your sinuses, neck, chest, lower chakras, all in front there and through there. And just find the stuck energy that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Melt cords going into it. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings plugged into this stuff? And then just blow it up or melt it. Cold light. Take a couple deep breaths. I mean, ideally, just keep doing that. Keep taking deep breaths. Deep breath. Comb through. Okay, good enough. Good job. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's I just want to show the because it's an extended sinus mask. I want to show CV23, which is the point in this inception vessel CV meridian. That's just right there, top of the throat. That's CV23. And then stomach 9 through 12 is the green meridian, 9, 10, 11, 12. So comb through those points and in front of there. And just make sure you don't have too much tightness in those meridians right there. If you do, just find the blocked energy that's allowing the invasive energy to come in and clench it all up. Comb through that whole area in front of those points and find the blocks that are weakening your defenses there. Pressing everything. Well, yeah, because then the invasive energy comes in and compresses it all. Find the blocks, comb outward from here. Right? And you know, check out that stomach meridian right there. Is it too tight? It'd be a nice, you know, in the diagram it's green, of course, so we can tell it apart from the others, but it should be nice and red flowy, a red flowy tube with a red flowy river in it. Right? And at that point of the meridian, it's flowing downward and then it goes over a little bit and then down again. Oh. You want red flowy river, not like tightness. Just keep unblocking. And again, just find the energy that's kind of gripping that whole area from in front and just freeze it. You can freeze it and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So freeze any invasive energy that's kind of gripping this whole area and just freeze it and surround it in gold light and lift it out. Angels, here you go. So freeze any energy that's gripping your throat and the top part of your chest cavity and just freeze it, drag it out. Angels, here you go. Might want to do a little gentle stretching as you work this. Keep taking deep breaths. You want to feel like, you know, just trace that meridian, you know, a copy of it out in front of you if you want, or locally on yourself. But you don't want to feel like it's too tight. If you do, there could still be blocks here in front that you missed that are allowing invasive energy to come through. And the face meridians, I'll just do that for a second. So the stomach meridian, that green line, it actually starts up here, just under your eye. See the green line right there under the eye? And then it goes around like this to the side, and then part of it goes down like that. So it's very, very cool. But so the part under your eye, you know, that's like stomach 1 is that, you know, the first point of the it's right under your eye, just like in the diagram. So you want the first points of any meridian to be very unblocked, because that's where energy flows from one meridian to the next, to the next, to the next. And if the first point is blocked, it causes this weird backlog and it depletes the meridian that's blocked, and not good. So unblock stomach 1, which is right beneath your eye. The chakra, minor chakra. All right, couple deep breaths. All right. There are very many cool face points, obviously, shown in the diagram. You can just kind of quickly unblock whichever ones you want. The stomach meridian, when it goes around the side like that, we could in a second. So the stomach meridian, it starts right below the eye, and then see how it goes all the way up there, all around your jawline, all the way up, and then it goes down like we said. So stomach 9, 10, 11, 12. It goes down all the way through your nipple, the nipple chakra. All the way down. But that's how meridians are, you know, they'll start at one end and end at a different end. It's super, super cool. Oops, we didn't show the end of it. Sorry. There we go. It ends right there with your at your toe. So let's just do that route. So from the eye down and then through the jawline like that, all the way, and then there's that point right at the top. Then again, healthy and gentle. Do what's healthy and gentle to do at one time. All right. Isn't that cool? So there is a 12 meridian playlist. I will try to remember to link it below in the comment section. If I don't, just put a comment asking me to do it. But I'll try to remember to do it. So that video, I didn't make it, but it's super cool and can be used as an easy reference as you're energy healing your meridians. So there's a playlist of them. And my playlist of them shows them in order of flow. So how one flows from one meridian to the next, to the next, to the next. I've ordered the videos in the proper flow order. Which for some reason, the video creator, even though he's crazy cool to make these things, did not put them in order of flow. Oh, in his playlist. Or her playlist. I'm assuming it's a man. So that was cool. We unblocked clearing extended sinus masks, but also including extra work with the stomach meridian, the top part of it. Fun times. And that is, we spent extra time, well, in part because like people get colds and they're, you know, this whole area gets blocked. So it's like a seasonal thing to do, but also just energy boundaries for power so that you have better boundaries here so you don't get crushed by external forces. Okay, so I talked about this. There's a whole section of it in the discussion before the healing labeled something like that. Avoid this blocks. So I'm just gonna start with it, but comb through your astral body aura or your physical body aura, whichever one you feel like starting with first. I guess I'll start with a certain one in case you really want to follow and be led like that and say, no, we're doing this aura. So, but you don't have to do one before the other, just whichever one you feel like. You can freestyle it. But so look at I'm gonna look at astral body aura first, the front, and I'm gonna hunt for a block that's really big and would be so cool to clear, but it's still healthy and gentle. You always want to do healthy and gentle, right? But ideally it's more fun to like maximize how much you can do that is still within your healthy and gentle, right? So find a healthy and gentle block in the front of your astral body aura. And just as you run gold light through it, and melt cords going into it from other people, you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this thing, can you please recycle them? And you can notice if there are any significant, like family members, cords from family members or people in your life. And just let it melt away. Usually when the beings are recycled and the cords are melted, the block, and you're still running gold light through it, it'll just really easily clear. If it doesn't, you say, angels, help me to clear this. So take a deep breath after each one of these. Check your grounding if you need to, unless you already feel super grounded. You can comb through your groundings. Make sure they're really flowing well, even in the back. All right, so again, astral body aura in the front. Check for avoid this blocks that you yourself have labeled on it for yourself. Like, I'm definitely going to avoid this. I'm not going to clear it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to, be subconscious about it, right? So find and avoid this block in the front of your astral body aura. You can use your intuition, like, oh, is this from a past life or from this life? And just melt cords going into it. Angels, if there are any invasive beings cording into it, can you please recycle them? And typically it'll just melt after that. But if not, you could blow it up. We could, for added safety, just uncord backlash people. Again, we already did it in the grounding section, but we could do it again. So imagine yourself and line up all of the backlash people, which you may not know who all of them are, because some could be just rando neighbors that you're not aware of. But it's just people, anybody that tends to throw energy at you when you're growing and changing, and because they are easily triggered. So just line up all the backlash people and don't do anything to them. Don't even say anything to them, because as we said, they're easily triggered. And just melt cords between you and them. Just use gold light just outside of your space and within your space. Melt the baggage the cords are going into. And melt the cords, even the teeny weeny hard to notice ones. Make sure you get those too. So again, imagine the backlash people, and melt cords between you and them. And yes, you probably did make some of them subconsciously. So find those for sure and melt them. Good job. Woo! Deep breath. All right, so now more clear avoid this blocks for variety. Let's do astral body aura, but in the back. That's where you would assume that they are, although they can be in front too, which is always interesting. But they can be in the back because a lot of times you shove stuff you don't want to know about in the back. So your astral body aura in the back. Find and avoid this block, a block that you've labeled for yourself. Okay, avoid this. Like, note to self, avoid this. Right? Find one of those that's still healthy and gentle to clear. And as you comb gold light through it, just melt cords going into it. Notice if there's like a family member that's cording it the most, or somebody that you know, melt those cords. And say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this, can you please recycle them? And that you could blow it up or just keep using more gold light till it melts. Deep breath, breathe into your toes. Breathe into all your tree trunk points, which we worked in the grounding section today. Breath. Find one more block in your astral body aura in the back. That's kind of giant, but still healthy and gentle to clear right now. Or significant, kind of significant. And just run gold light through it, melt cords going into it from other people. Again, this is an avoid this block. So you've been carefully avoiding it, potentially for lifetimes. And you can notice as you're doing this, how many lifetimes have you avoided it? Or is it just a couple of weeks? And angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this, can you please recycle them? And the more gold light you use, you probably end up melting it away. If not, you could blow it up. Any is left over, so angels help me melt that. Okay, so now physical body aura. Same process, but if you like walkthroughs that are super specific, that's what I'm doing now, physical aura. So physical body aura, your physical body aura, we could do the front first of your physical body aura. Just find an avoid this block, a block that you've labeled to yourself at some point. Okay, I'm definitely avoiding that. And so there's like an avoid this sticker on it. Just find one of those avoid this blocks in the front of your physical body aura and melt cords going into it from other people. The angels, if there are any invasive beings cording into this, can you please recycle them? And just keep melting it with gold light. You could blow it up if you want. A couple deep breaths. We'll do one more front of the aura block. One more. We can do a top of the aura. Avoid this block in your physical body aura. Find an energy block in the top of your aura. Anywhere in the top of your aura above your physical body head. Find the block. Melt cords going into it from everybody. The angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this, can you please recycle them? Keep using gold light till it completely melts, or you could blow it up. Well, deep breaths, breathe into your tree trunk points. Redo your grounding if you need to. All right, so we'll do 2 in the back of your physical body aura. So find an avoid this block that you've labeled to yourself. I'm avoiding that in the back of your aura that's still healthy and gentle to get rid of. And as you run gold light through it and melt cords going into it, the angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings hooked into this? And you can blow it up if you want, or you can just keep melting it with gold light until it's fully gone. Any leftovers? So angels, can you help me with that? Find another one. This is the last one that I'll be doing in the walkthrough. So just find another energy block in the back of your physical body aura that you've put an avoid this sticker on it for yourself. So you've like been like, okay, note to self, I'm definitely not working that one. So just find one of those that's really significant, but still healthy and gentle to clear right now. And run gold light through it with your hands, melt cords going into it. Now I say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this, can you please recycle them? And you can blow it up or just keep melting it with gold light till it's gone. So unblock your grounding. chances are doing that just caused a lot to release, because those ones that you've been avoiding, they tend to, you know, the longer you avoid them, the more they're in the way. Yeah. So releasing them sort of breaks up like an old traffic jam, which is good, but just make sure you keep on blocking your grounding so that it can all release very easily. Couple deep breaths, breathe into all your tree trunk points, which includes above your head, but also includes your shoulder joints, hip joints, knee joints, ankle joints, and your toes. I forget your toes. All right. You're a rock star. Great job. Woohoo. Woohoo. Great job. All right. So we did avoid this blocks, first astral, and then physical auras. I'm going to just take a look at a sample person quietly to see if we need to do more in this healing or not. Okay. So one more thing before we wrap up, which I'm going to explain because I didn't talk about it. I mean, what I talked about in the intro that relates to this is that 50% of power is not holding yourself back, right? And so that's why we cleared the avoid this blocks that you yourself have at some point put a label on them to yourself. Avoid this, like a note to self. Avoid this block. Avoid clearing it. Avoid looking at it. Avoid thinking about it. Avoid knowing about it consciously, right? So that was avoid this blocks. But these blocks, someone else has, they're different. They're not like it's an external message, that these blocks had on them. In other words, somebody told you to stop it. And the easiest example I can give is sometimes you can be having fun and you can have amusement about something, and that can trigger somebody else. So maybe you said something that somebody else decided was insensitive, and so you weren't like serious enough or something, or you weren't, saying the right things that they felt were appropriate. But maybe you're just having like a good old time. You're just having fun, and maybe it's too loud for somebody, or it's just some people are like, killjoy kind of people where they never have fun. They're so bitter and, shut down that they actually do get quite irritated when somebody's having a good time. And so they can, to the point where they can become invasive and put stop it blocks in your space. But you can have stop it blocks, like say if you're so productive that it kind of triggers somebody else's self-esteem issues about that they're not being very productive. Sometimes I get stop it blocks as a gardener because my garden is extremely public. My whole front yard is a garden, as opposed to many people who have their garden in their backyard, or they'll just do a teeny little border in one spot of their front yard. But my entire yard is a garden. So I tend to get, many people are validated by that, but probably more people are triggered by that. For all sorts of reasons. Like maybe they like it, but they feel like they should do it, but they're totally not doing it. So then they feel bad. So then I get stop it blocks from them because when they look at my garden, they beat themselves up. So it's really like twisted and obscure reasons usually that people become invasive because it's not like a wellness state to be invasive, right? It's people are stuck about something, and they could have been wounded, by trauma, so I'm not trying to demonize anybody, but that's how you can get stop it blocks in your space, is just somehow somebody wanted you to stop being productive, stop being happy or joyful, stop being expressive, stop something that you were doing, right? And so as far as power and not holding yourself back, sometimes, if you keep your stop it blocks for a long time, technically at this point, you're holding yourself back, because you're just like, maybe, you just feel like, well, they were really angry when they put it there. I better leave it, and I see that often with people. They're like, well, my mom is so mean. I better just not clear this stuff because she'll be mean again, whereas she's already like as mean as she can get, So, I mean, yes, it's good to do healthy and gentle, and to work with your angels and your intuition and be like, okay, is this okay for me to clear right now? But a lot of times it does come under the heading of you holding yourself back in unnecessary ways, because if you allow yourself to be shut down and you keep yourself shut down, it's not making you any stronger. It tends to snowball, and then you get weaker and weaker, and which invites more and more invasive energy in, and before you know it, you're like super screwed, right? So this kind of comes under the heading of you were already crushed, but you're keeping it there now. So it's you're holding yourself back at this point by keeping the stop it blocks. But it's not like you're a terrible person because you're doing it. Maybe you just got used to not having fun, or you got used to not being productive, or you got used to not sleeping well, and you don't realize that blocks from other people are related to that. And maybe even the direct cause of when you stopped working out, or you stopped being productive or organizing, or you stopped, having your whole front yard be a garden. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to clear out to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now. But we're going to clear out stop it blocks that other people have put in your space. And it can be from past lives, you know, and those people really have completely forgotten about you, but you've kept the stop it blocks for one reason or another. So let's clear them. Okay. So with these, I don't think we have to, you still could do it where you know, like we did with the avoid this blocks, where we did astral body aura front, astral body aura in the back, physical in the front, physical in the back. You could do that, you know, that could be interesting, you know, if you want to be geeky and do that. But I'm going to just do it like pile them all out in front, you know, because then like it's time efficient and you can ask your angels to go over them, go through them and take out any that are too much to do right now. So just make a big pile out in front of you. If you want, make a big gold blanket, put them on the blanket, or make a big gold dumpster, big gold box, whatever, or just piles. And just pile on them, pile out in front of you copies of all the stop it blocks that people have given you that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. So you can just pile them all out there, all the copies of all the stop it blocks, and then say, angels, you look through this and, you know, is all this healthy and gentle to clear right now? And that way they'll remove whatever's too much to do right now. Including too much because you can't handle the backlash. You know, so your angels are checking it, right? And so then now that your angels have checked it, you can clear all of them that are still out in front of you, all the stop it blocks. So bring up red earth energy, soak the whole pile with red earth energy, which starts, you know, grounding them more. And then lots of gold light around the pile, melt any cords going into the pile from other people or from yourself. And again, just remind yourself, this is like you getting out of your own way. This is you stopping holding yourself back, you know, because just keeping them forever is basically now you're holding yourself back. Not anymore about the person who gave them to you. It's about you just, you've kept it there and you don't have to, right? So then just gold light through the pile and just let all of them melt, or you can blow them up and have them be colorful fireworks right before they destroy. Just melt them all away. All the stop it blocks. And you may have somebody in your life that especially gave you a bunch of them. Like somebody was threatened by your productivity, or somebody was threatened by your joyfulness, or your exercising, or, you know, maybe you were especially mindful about what you ate, you know, and that triggered some people that weren't ready for that kind of stuff yet. So again, you know, check your grounding, redo it if you want. Nice and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. Put out in front of you any stop it blocks from other people that have been put in your space to make you stop whatever you were doing, having fun, being productive, whatever. And say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? Is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So they'll remove anything that's too much for right now. So then anything that's left, just bring up red earth energy, soak the whole pile. Gold light, melt away cores from everybody going into the pile. And then you can blow up the pile. You can melt it with gold light, gold fire. So it's fully destroyed. If any's left over, just say, angels, can you help me with this? Go to your angels. All right, good job. Woohoo! So that was clearing stop it blocks from other people that were in your space. Excuse me. And it is okay to do this regularly. you know, as you progress and get stronger and more present, you could be ready to clear more stop it blocks that you weren't ready to clear before, or, you know, like with that healthy and gentle limit, you know, you keep doing it over time, you can do more safely. Oh, right. Woohoo. Okay, so this is a wrap up section right before we're done with the healing. So comb through everything, have a copy out in front of you of your 17 auras, and your physical body and your astral body are inside there. And just comb through all that. Comb through your groundings, both groundings. Check that even the back of your grounding is nice and wide and flowing all the way down. Melt away any blocks. Indie grounding, I didn't mention that before. You can check the outer surface of your groundings as they go all the way down and melt away anything that's hooked into the groundings. Like where if it connects to other people's groundings, just melt all that away. So your grounding only goes straight down with nothing, no attachments, no hard objects, just melt everything away. All right, energy healing flowers, you know, as we wrap up, it could be that you need a little extra nourishing. So you can make energy healing flowers. I like to do it with my hands, but if you don't, you can just have them appear out in front of you and give them to yourself. But make energy healing flowers of universal healing energy. It could be gold light, rainbow colors, or both. And just set them to whatever vibration is most nourishing and uplifting for you right now, most healthy for you right now. And just say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Okay, one more time. Make energy healing flowers, as many as you need to nourish you, to uplift you, to help you be more inspired and encouraged. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. Okay, good job. So then the AA magnet thing that I wrote right there, AA magnet. So calling your energy back with an angel assisted magnet, gold magnet. That's what AA is, angel assisted. So you make any gold 3D object that you want, like a sphere, cube, a pyramid, whatever, and make it gold and make it a magnet so that it calls back your energy from wherever it went. Maybe some people took it, maybe you gave it away accidentally or on purpose because you were confused. Whatever. So just call back your energy into the magnet. I like making my magnet bigger as I'm calling my energy back, but you can keep it the same size and just have the energy go into it. That's yours. And I just have the gold light of the magnet clean off your energy and just say, angels, can you clean off my energy? Just for an extra little check there. And then just give that energy back to yourself. Okay, so we'll do that one more time. Angel assisted gold magnet, just call your energy back from wherever it was in the past or the future or just somewhere else, not with you. Call all your energy back. Angel assisted too, I forgot to say, it just means also that your angels are helping you pace it so that it's a sort of a diplomatic pacing. So if you have so much of your energy in some backlash person space, if you yank it out all at once real fast, then you know that could trigger them too much and then they whack you, right? So, but angel assisted just means that angels help like sort of the speed of return of your energy so that it's diplomatic, but you still get your energy back. All right, and say, angels, can you check my energy? Can you clean this out? And then give it back. And then STEBs will do that just as the last thing. So just stack out in front of you any energy blocks that are still triggered on any level for you. Just make a big pile of them. Bring up red earth energy, gold light, run gold light through them, melt cords going into these energy blocks. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings plugged into these energy blocks, can you please recycle them? Deep breath. And you can just melt these blocks. You can blow them up. If there are any left over, you can hand them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right. And as we wrap up, you can just ask your angels, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Deep breaths. Angels, can you help me with my power, confidence, and flow under pressure? And of course, your angels are always trying to help you. So really the trick is more to allow your angels to help you. So you could say something to yourself like, I'm going to let my angels help me with my confidence, my power, and my flow under pressure. All right. Great job. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, good job. That's a healing. You're a rock star. Woohoo. All right. Okie dokie. So I'm going to look at chat comments now and comment on them. If you have anything you want to say about this theme of power, confidence, and flow under pressure, or about any of the techniques that we did today, feel free to text chat that live now if you want. If you have any comments about how you're doing now after the healing, whether you healed yourself or I healed you or both, you could comment if you want. Of course, I will be sending out a post-healing survey to the 146 people that I healed. Well, the conscious participants of those 146 people. And so please, if you could take a minute tomorrow after a good night's sleep to fill out this, that would be helpful. I will study the results as I plan the Sunday healing. Even if you feel the same, I can read your energy and I use my intuition to see, okay, which one do I need to, which surveys are more significant and all that. So if you just write how you're doing, that's enough in the survey. All right. I'm just catching up with comments I missed. Let's see. Oh, they thought I made these. No, I did not make them. Somebody made them, but not me. I just bought them. She makes them from recycled sweaters, recycled wool sweaters. So she has more trouble now, I guess, because people don't buy high quality wool sweaters as much now in the States. And so they don't give them away to thrift stores as much anymore. So she has trouble because she gets her material from thrift stores, you know, like, you know, really cheap because people have given them to charity or something. So she has more trouble finding her materials now than she used to. But anyway, yeah. So these are from old wool sweaters that she sewed into fingerless gloves. They do have, like, there's a, yeah, I probably have them on backwards. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so they can go like that. You can put your thumb in it if I don't usually do that. All right. Someone says, thanks. Cleared rad blocks when the tsunami warning sounded yesterday and then checked in and it said to go about my day normally. Thanks. Well, that's a good idea. Clear, yeah, triggered energy blocks for sure. Don't know that I know what country you're in if you had tsunami warnings. So just, it's too late now because I already did the country count for this. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't read out the countries though. I always like to do that. So to say a specific hello to everybody. So of the 146 people that I healed in this healing, and I'm healing in this set of 3 healings, from 12 countries, that includes 11 kids ages 5 to 17. And of the 146 people, 110 of those are in the US, 6 are in Canada, 6 are in the UK, 5 are in the United Arab Emirates, 4 are in South Korea, 4 in Qatar, 3 in Ukraine, 2 in Bermuda, 2 in Spain, 2 in Luxembourg, 1 in Italy, and 1 in Japan. So hello to all the people that I was healing today. And of course, hello to everyone that's watching live and everyone that's going to be watching later as a video. Hello. Oh, and a special shout out to, well, just a special salute, I guess, to, because I do heal some people in South Korea. And I guess there were some really awesome South Korean citizens who did safe, peaceful political demonstrating that made a big difference in the last couple of days. So yay for peaceful protesting South Korean citizens. Yay. Okay, so let's see what else. Someone says awe, and the color of the text is also blue and purple. So cute. Yes. Yeah, I have colors that I tend to like a lot. Someone says, I do have that behind the neck block. Yeah, a lot of people do. In the flow zone. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Someone says I had a headache middle of my forehead and felt like it was worse throughout the healing. I was hoping the sinus clearing would help. It did bring it down. Can't seem to figure out what it is. I did have to lower the volume and close my eyes to avoid the lights for a bit. Also, how did my kids do? Yes, because they got the healing too. Yeah, so if you look at the middle of your forehead is more 6th chakra. Sinuses are like in the sort of the bottom of the forehead, right near the eyebrows and just above there. See, that's that green. All those colorful areas, those are sinus cavities, which are hollow parts of bones that are lined with membranes that generate mucus for good reasons, but also they can go nuts if you're sick or something. Or you're eating foods that you shouldn't, or too much of foods you shouldn't. But anyway, so if it's the middle of the forehead, that's probably 6th chakra, you know, and yeah, so sometimes it won't repair properly if you have like cords, too many cords, too much just junk, you know, some invasive beings, you know, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings there? You know, but it's like there can be a lot of damage to like the surface, so it's like all scratched up and hard rather than bouncy and flowy. So yeah, front of 6th chakra, but then also, you know, the you can just save as a reference, like on your computer or something. That shot right there. So you have it, because like 6th chakra, but also that yellow, that's the urinary bladder meridian, goes right through that area. So if somebody got you really good there, they probably also banged up those 2 meridians. So, just repairing those meridians too, because if you don't do that, then it's going to be really uncomfortable. So you want those to be like red flowy tubes, and right now they're like all ripped up. So you can just work extra on the urinary bladder meridians, those yellow lines right there. The green thing right there, the gallbladder meridian, that's okay, your forehead, but right in the center there, the urinary bladder meridians are still, your 6th, the front of your 6th, I worked it a little, so it's fine now, but the urinary bladder meridian just right there, just work that a little bit, repair a little more. Let's see. I may have to take my dog out. We'll see. I don't know if my husband will be a rock star and do it for me or not. I'll text him. Yeah, if you did want to take Izzy out, I wouldn't say no. I was about to text you, but here you are. You're magic. You just appear. All right. So somebody says, thank you, Janet. Feeling muted post-healing. Interesting. I've been feeling extra fantastic lately, but last night started feeling sad, which I assume is my mom. Yes. Been doing a lot of 4th chakra, 4th layer work. Yeah, I would look for more of those stop it blocks that we did. Just redo that work a little bit. That was the final section we did right before wrap up. I think that would be a cool thing to work within the context of your mom. If anyone has the most consistent backlash person that you have, look for stop it blocks from them, or stop it blocks that maybe weren't initially from them, but they keep courting them because it shuts you down. It like turns your power off. So yeah, so I would just hunt for some stop it blocks from your mom. You don't have any significant damage anywhere. Your Kundalini chakra's off. I mean, that could be part of it. You could rev that a little bit. Maybe listen to some good dance music. Get your Kundalini going. Oh, that person before with the forehead thing, they said, how did my kids do? Your kids did well. Kids, it's easy for them to do well in these healings. They're not all stuck adults yet. Even your kid that gets pissed off sometimes, well, a lot. He seems fine. Yeah, your angels give me a thumbs up about them. They did well. Anyway, okay, so skipping back forward. Someone says, thank you, Janet. You're welcome. Someone says, wow, I had a phone call with my ex-husband during this healing. We both got a healing today about our kids, and it went remarkably well. Oh, that's nice. That's good. The angels must have orchestrated that phone call. That's very funny. And it's not true that, if you get a healing with somebody, you're going to definitely get along during the healing, if you're both getting the healing. But, it could happen. And it seems like your angels helped orchestrate the call at that time. That's funny. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you so much Feeling pretty good post-healing. Good. Father-in-law in town. So that's a good thing. Well, okay, good. I think my angel suggests anything the angel suggests I could work on. Thanks again. They like the set right before we did the wrap up, we did stop it blocks. They especially like that. They say you have some stop it blocks from your husband, and you have some stop it blocks just in general that it could help to clear. So yeah, just redo that. If you only redo one section, that's their favorite one, is the one we did right before the wrap up. Clear stop it blocks from other people that are in your space. Someone says California and Oregon had a tsunami warning yesterday. Really? Dang. Lorenzo, did you know that? California and Oregon had a tsunami warning yesterday? Oh gosh, I didn't know that. Wow. We're just north of Washington State. For those that don't know, is north is the one right above Oregon. So there's California, Oregon, and then there's Washington State. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not fully awake. I have no memory of the event. That's my favorite expression. One of my favorite expressions is I have no memory of the event. This is wow. My parents are in West Lynn, Oregon. Yeah, that's a trip. You know, it was kind of a thing when we moved here, because at some point, like they say, like within the next 100 years, there's going to be just this massive tsunami that impacts Washington State as well. But I'm not going to be alive for the next 100 years, you know, in this lifetime. So, you know, but we did think about, like, okay, how close to the coast are we? Are we too close to the coast? Are we, and we're not in the lowlands here, but we're lower. We're not in the highlands here, you know, but I think we're not low enough and we're far enough inland that I think we'll be okay. Even if the 100-year tsunami happens like tomorrow. So, and you know, I always like, I mean, you know, it's good to listen to the news and stuff too, of course. But you know, with me, I sort of have like this thing of like, well, you know, if it's your time, it's your time. If it's not your time, it's not your time. You know, in other words, for your life to end. So there's like divine timing with that stuff too. But it is good to hear the news. So this is, I feel better, thank you, but also kind of shut down. Interesting. Well, your Kundalini is off, but that's probably good because it's pretty late at night for you, I think, where you are. So maybe we don't want to fix that right now. Maybe tomorrow morning, if you still feel kind of shut down, then, you know, turn your Kundalini chakra back on, the one right below your physical first chakra, and maybe also, you know, clear more shutdown blocks. This is thanks. You're welcome. This is how do I handle depression, please? Well, you know, it's a complex question because depression is the symptom, but there can be a lot of situations within your space creating that. I don't know your real life first and last name. In general, if you ask like a reading type question, ideally, if it's not in your YouTube name, your first and last name, because of privacy reasons, you just don't want that. Then put your first name and last name initials in the comment, you know, but whatever, I can kind of do a good enough reading without knowing any of that. I don't think I healed you, but that's just because I don't recognize your YouTube ID. You could email me too and introduce yourself if you want. Janet@jwhealing.com is my email address. I should write that. Not that you have to do that right now, but just so it's here. That's my email address. But anyway, so depression. I mean, it looks like you have a bunch of chakra damage and aura damage. So I would work more on the first, the 5 essentials. Thanks for the extra information. Work on the 5 essentials that we do right now. The chapters aren't in the healing, so but you could use like the most recent healing, any of the most recent healings. Within a day there'll be chapters in this live stream also, saved as a video, so you can go to each chapter and do it, and go right to it. But so go to a healing where there are nice chapters if you want to save time, and just do grounding, do aura repair, do chakra repair, do creative ring repair, do good karma window repair. But mostly I would focus on aura repair and chakra repair for you, because like your 7th and your 6th chakras are good enough, but 5th on down, it's like 2 and 1 of your astral body chakras have damage, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of your physical body chakras have damage. Meaning like cracks or missing chunks, around the round edges. So you can just repair them all at once, but then maybe do a spot check. And today's healing is nice in that because we did do spot checks, but so yeah, aura repair, chakra repair would be starters. It's not that magically that's going to fix your depression, especially if it's chronic depression. However, that would be step 1. It's like if your kitchen is on fire, don't paint the wall, put the fire out first, right? So that's the idea, is you do first things first, get things under control and, on the right track. So the 5 essentials is the putting the fire out kind of idea. It's the first thing, is get things basically safe and whole and flowing, and that's what the 5 essentials would do. So yeah, I think chronically you have chakra and aura damage, so it's not just at this moment. And so that just makes it so hard to release the blocked energy enough so that your chakras can do their job properly and give you uplifting emotions and uplifting self-esteem and uplifting enthusiasm and uplifting, focus and goals, and, So anyway, yeah. So that's the first step. Just keep doing chakra repair and aura repair consistently. And the 5 essentials, like get that grounding flowing, because your grounding tends to get really narrow and blocked. So it's not like this big wide waterfall going down the whole way. So when you can't release, it's like all you feel is your baggage. And it's just like, it's like you're smacking yourself in the face all the time with the baggage. So, repair stuff and grounding, flow, just keep flowing. That would be the basics. Just if you could just do that for a couple of days so that you could just, catch up, not that again, in a few days, you'll never have depression again, but at least then it's like you're on the right track, and if you need me to double check your work on aura repair and chakra repair, you can post under any video. I had said I had depression. You noticed I had aura repair, aura damage and chakra damage. Can you double check my work? I've been working aura repair and chakra repair for 3 days now. 4 days now, or whatever. But anyway, that's the long and short of it. Someone says, thank you for this healing. Pretty sure I had devices in my left shoulder. Picked them up about 10 days ago. I think their healing helped me today. The healing helped me today. Well, good. Yeah. Somebody got you with some stuff. Like an axe. A couple axe blades and some spears. Some of the axes are still there though. The like sort of a wide blade, just like under your shoulder blade, just like right in there. Just some wider blades. You got all the spears out, but there's some wider blades there that are still there. And then work the meridians in that area. So if we look at let's see. Yeah, so maybe if I move it up, no, there's no more. You can look at one of the meridian videos to see what's there. But maybe even that brown one, the brown squiggly one, which is the small intestine meridian. Like see there, I singled it out in the brown font, zigzag, small intestine 9 to 15. So that's the starting at that armpit point, up, down, up, and then flat for a little bit, and then it goes in the front. So, you know, repair those small intestine 9 through 15. The shoulder zigzag area back there is shown as the brown meridian in the diagram. Work that more. All right. Someone says waking up Kundalini helps. Thanks, Janet. Oh yeah, getting your Kundalini chakra going again. That's good. I had a few days without mom hopping in my space after working inner conflict. Oh, nice. I think, oh, interesting. Inner conflict. Yeah. Yeah. Last twin set, we worked inner conflict. So the November twin set, we worked inner conflict. And the idea was that you have just better boundaries with outer forces if you're not fighting yourself and wasting energy spinning your wheels with inner disagreements consciously or subconsciously. So that's really cool. I think it's worked well. We'll definitely work the stop it blocks. Oh, good. That we did today. Someone says, sorry, to clarify, I'm glad that I had the healing because father-in-law in town. Oh, yeah. And I needed the healing, so thanks. Good timing. Someone says, yes, it's indeed pretty late. How's Izzy doing? Izzy's not doing that great. But I will explain that once I get through all the chat comments. Thanks for this healing set. I mentioned your name. 3 months into the divorce process, I moved out and back to Chicago and started a new job a month ago. It's been a whirlwind and my emotional self-regulation is low. Well, first of all, congratulations on your divorce. Which is something that most people won't tell you, so that's why I have to say it. But, you know, divorce is not easy, but most of why divorce is not easy is because, well, maybe not most, but a lot of why divorce is not easy is because of all the boundary problems with, you know, between you and your ex's family and all the wax going back and forth and the courting and all that. So it's a great time to work boundaries. Maybe watch protein too, your protein intake and how regular you are with protein versus carbs and sugars. I did write, it's like a mini novel in the last healing of I'll link November's healings below too, because this is the second time I'm referring to the November healings. So I'll link the November playlist below also in the comment section. But in the final healing of the twin set, I posted a comment that it was an email that I had emailed some client about hypoglycemia and managing your blood sugar through diet, not diet as in dieting, but, you know, mindful food choices and eating very regular protein at regular intervals. If you're hypoglycemic, which a lot of people seem to be. But anyway, so in addition to mindful food choices like that, watching, you know, like definitely if alcohol intake is an issue, being very mindful of that. But yeah, cords from someone in your family that's very triggered about the divorce and a couple of people in his family that are very triggered about the divorce. People get triggered about divorces, you know, it's a thing. Yeah, everyone imagines that, you know, everyone should be this delightfully happy couple and perfectly compatible until death you part, which, you know, that's nice if it's the case. But if it's not the case, you know, divorce can be the healthiest option, and a lot of people can't wrap their brain around that. So then, you know, you have people courting you and freaking out and jumping in your space. So yeah, just keep melting cords, wash everybody out from your family, from his family, keep washing them out of your space. Oh, right. Because sometimes they'll get in your space and cord you, and then you just have this mental subconscious battle with them in your space, like arguing with them. And so it's not a debate. It's not an argument. Wash everybody out. That's that. You know, and just, you could do that twice a day. Just wash everyone from your side of the family out, everyone from his side of the family out, anyone, relatives, people that you know that are triggered about you getting a divorce and moving. You know, just wash everybody out. This says, thank you, Janet. You're welcome. This says, I remember you talking about hypoglycemia. I am too, sober about 12 years. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Good for you. Yeah. So if you want to read my little mini novel that I wrote about food choices and hypoglycemia, that's at the end of the last healing in the comment section, the November twin healing 2 of 2. And I will link the November playlist below in the comment section for sure. Okay, so now we'll do the Izzy update, and then we'll be done. Okay, so Izzy update and cam. So I will talk first, and then I'll show him at the end, because he'll get all revved up when I'm showing him probably. So Izzy is our one remaining dog at this time. We had 3 senior beagles that were all rescues from a rescue that specializes in rehabilitating animals that were used in laboratory research, which, you know, sometimes it's just needlessly cruel and awful, probably often. But anyway, so laboratory research dogs, a lot of them are beagles, because they're so friendly and submissive that they use them in laboratory research. But anyway, so all 3 of our beagles were laboratory rescue dogs. So when they all went crazy in the exact same way. And it's, you know, note to self, don't get 3 laboratory rescue dogs at the same time. But anyway, but the 2 out of 3 were quite old. I mean, they were like over 8 years old when they finally got out of the lab and we rescued them. And so they have since passed away. You know, they lived a long life, and the last years of it were happy with us. So anyway, so Izzy is the final beagle left from the 3. And he was only in the laboratory 2.5 years of his life, which still is terrible, because, you know, they're in a cage 24/7. But anyway, so, but he, you know, he's always been very happy-go-lucky and running around and stuff, and really adorable that way. But he started having seizures more often, and so we had to put him on seizure medication. But the problem with that is it's a pharmaceutical in like all the bad ways, where yes, it does what it says it does, which is to stop the seizures, but there are like huge side effects, which we didn't realize when we were giving it to Abel, the other dog who had seizures, who we had to give that medication to. But now, as soon as we put Izzy on this medication for seizures, we're noticing the same side effects that Abel had that we never were sure was from the medication, but it's like, bam, all of a sudden Izzy has all the same side effects, which is he's really itchy all the time. And like so much so that it's completely preoccupying. So then we already had him on some medication for itching, but only a half dose each day. But then he had to go up to full dose, and even that's not enough now. So anyway, so he has to wear a cone, just like Abel used to. which I'll show you. And he's really not happy right now. So we've changed his food because with Abel, we did find some relief for him sometimes when we would switch, because like maybe the medication just messes with their immune system so much that they are more prone to becoming food allergic, but also environmentally allergic and allergic to something in their environment or the grass, whatever, so but sometimes we did get some relief for Abel when he was alive by switching his food. So we have, within the same brand of food, because it's really good food, but we've switched him on new food. So we're going to see, we have to wait a couple weeks to see if that'll fix it and give him some peace. If it doesn't, then we might have to give him like a bigger dose of the itch medication, which is also a pharmaceutical with its own side effects. But, so we're going to have to go to the vet in a couple weeks and figure out what's what. But anyway, so right now he's not especially happy. I mean, he still has joy in his life, but it's hard for him because he used to feel perfect for like the last, I don't know, we've had him since like 2017. So we've had him for 7 years and he's felt like perfect the whole time, so this is kind of a culture shock for him to have these symptoms. But anyway, so I'll show you him. He's wearing his cone and he's whining a little bit. You probably can't hear it because the microphone is so good. I mean, maybe you could hear it a little, but he's whining because he itches and he can't scratch it because he has the cone on for his own safety. So anyway, that's what he's dealing with. And, but we're doing our best with him, and it is what it is because his seizures were pretty severe, so we had to medicate him for that. It is what it is. You do the best you can. Give him the happiest life you can. So here's our boy. See right there? So now he has a cone just like Abel used to have. And I'll give him some treats on camera so you can at least see him a little happy. So I'll go get some treats. I'll be right back. So normally we give him these treats when we put on his cone so that he's at least excited for the moment that he gets his cone on. But he already has his cone on, so I'll just give him the couple treats just for kicks. You're such a good boy. All right, that's cool. So yeah. So thank you very much. You guys are amazing. I hope that you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever is next for you. And I hope you are safe. The next clinic will be in 2 days on Sunday. And feel free to watch